Hello people on the internet, this here is Persona Kai speaking to those watching.
And this is kinda Leggy Parrot also being featured in today's video.
And today, I have a feeling to do a video commentary and self-word rant on things on the internet that I personally think they're my favorites and least favorites in my opinions.
Normally these types of videos aren't commonly made for the channel, but the creator I'm talking with next to me feels like to give these opinions a bit more attention by video.
So with that being said, let's begin out the list starting with my personal favorite ones. Coming in at number 5 are commentaries, reviews, and rants such as coasters, cringe content, and even products. On what I like about them are the fact that they give informative facts on what I can expect with a subject, comparing my opinions either to agree or respect them. Overall a pretty good kind of videos to listen to words. I'ma give these types of videos a rating of 7 out of 10. If you want examples of what I'm talking, links in the description.
Coming in at number 4 we have on ride POVs and other content related to amusement rides. On how it's likable is that the creator liked to film each attraction as possible by nerd shots of the parts, angles to off-ride when accessible, elaborate cue, timing a dispatch especially for records, on-ride filming to see everything it's surrounded whether it's the ride system or scenery and the exit ramp to make each complete although the creator cannot promise to combine every single angle altogether. Experimental stuff can be different seats as well as different FOVs and camera effects especially on GoPro. Overall, a nostalgia piece that makes his ride enthusiast persona enhanced especially when looking up other rides outside of what he has already ridden. I'm going to give these video types an 8 out of 10 because of showcasing on what each attraction has to offer either thrills or theming.
Coming in at number 3 are reenactment cartoons based either from Pokémon or the Wiggles. Recreating scenes may be considered plagiarism, but something about making up from it by creating well-designed accurate characters or alternate species variants that sometimes make fluid maneuvers as long as the screen doesn't lag too much. See that animated example? Overall, a solid type of videos that are populated still being in production in my YouTube channel to this day. These changed a lot in almost the past 9 years, gave a 9 out of 10.
Coming in at number 2 is a grounded series that has original plots as well as lore expansion. The creator used to make grounded videos before with bandwagoning the GoAnimate community, transitions to a new burst of flavor by recreating characters by design accuracy, custom backgrounds based from the show the creator chosen which is Debo the Gift Dragon. References uncommon from these video types including SFM and Gmod. And of course base it from a recreating trend that tries to stay accurate to the original show like Thomas and Friends. Overall although it took a creator lots of patience and couldn't upload consistently due to the big efforts he'd taken, he's more than proud every time he finished the product for each. These new generation grounded videos as well as bonus feature stories gets a personal opinion score as a 9.5 out of 10 as long as it stay consistent with Debo lore and OG scripts.
And coming in the top favorites are any multifurry content I crave for that saves my enjoyment of internet careers from going under, from drawings to new generation of GoAnimations. On how I enjoy making these types of pictures is that I can draw animals including my OCs in so many shapeshifts and forms when it comes to heads, arms, legs, wings, tails, and sometimes with mouths on odd places, especially to test out new experimental stuff on GoAnimate either on rack or offline or flash themes. The goal could be to make these tropes come to a more cartoonier manner from tours to hydras, whether it's my own art, a GoAnimate video, a trade, or a commission. The example of the character I'm showing is Tuki Harry, with the top view of one of the drawings that I enjoyed an art style with possible accuracy, and bottom view of when I'm using him on GoAnimate as a character with more than one asset. Speaking of Tuki Harry, I'm proud to announce a new series of him as a main character visiting Barrel Hill from Huge Flight, meeting sorts of dragons such as Zuki, Arrow, and Cinder. As for the excerpt scenes with explaining two initial scripts, one is when the first 3 dragons he saw could be Arya and her twin babies and another to be Zuki meeting Tuki for the first time. Overall, these types of content are the new generation of fun and enjoyment that I binge view each and every solid piece is thrilling as coasters. Of course, a perfect 10 out of 10.
Now that we're done discussing the list of creators' favorite content with his own words, let's move on to the least favorites as Rant. Starting at number 5 are the talking animals. For Multicultural Bunch, not necessarily bad. These types of drawings and character designs may be so original and themed to world's iconic countries as well as the respective animals that are realistic, but does not compare to what the creator enjoyed drawing. Geography may not be his thing, but sometimes can be more frustrating than fun when being told. On a daily basis, he personally don't want to overdo with the subject to be good at if his interest does not meet the standards of enjoyment. See the criticism screenshots with Brendan. This is how you should beware of the program's creator. Nothing against him, but some respect on what others like and seeing how the world really works can be appreciated. Overall, he doesn't like nor hate these types of art but just neutral. Even if he likes to travel the world himself and a long-time fan of It's a Small World and Soren, even Jasmine's world kind of makes him a hypocrite. A personal rating could be a 6 out of 10, meaning that he wants to like drawing more than he did but something feels off and buggy to deal with.
Coming in at number 4 are any childish adult series such as Childish Dad, Mom, Teen, Cat, Big Baby Tom or any other similar styled videos. A beer concept to have an adult to act either like a baby or pure child, but the biggest con of these can be throwing tantrums for a long period of time honestly takes up the video duration for a waste, especially with either family member says no and did not get taken, also comes with same boring stock backdrops in a good majority of them. Even more irritating, character designs that are non-human still retains their generic human look. For example, the effortless comedy world Dorothy, compared to my creation that is more dinosaur despite being Lil Peep's character. At least I took an effort to make her quality accurate as possible to the original source, while Eric Kiddo's version looks super bland and makes no effort to result in quantity. Though there are a few things I like about childish adult characters I feel like showing, one of them is a catchphrase from one of the Big Baby Tom videos. Please feel free to read. Another is to use at least one of them, which I chosen Big Baby Tom in an alternate canon for my story-filled grounded series, if he moves into Cozy Land with a makeover. Although, I have yet to make a second part of how he gets settled to his new home as I did when he got to the airport and rides the airplane, meeting an unrealistic flight attendant Debo. Lastly, I even enjoyed the alternate version of Big Baby Tom from the Fossil Cave, which gives out developed dialogues as well as horror vibes that even strays away generic ghost stuff. The same can also be said with Ryan Santiago's alternate canons with other childish characters like Joseph Reed, Julie Johnson, and Alan, especially with connection of his Sona aka the Phantom of Death for crossover, a scary-looking hero that is on the same side as the GoAnimate City according to the Troublemaker's Life in Prison video featuring you know what. Overall, I may not care for their existence, but could be better and more interesting if watching the improved GoAnimate video tips. Rated these a 4 out of 10. Not very good visuals, as well as tantrums especially with extras like pooping pants, breaking something, or crying for a longer period of time with an international voice takes up video duration and story potential. But only a few things that I like about them. Not terrible or completely hateful by any means, but the childish adult characters do have some potential for the future.
Coming in at number 3 are any GoAnimations that relies heavily on prop characters. What could I say? Images of characters unless modified with some moving parts like Goofy Superior has no soul whatsoever, without moving mouths, body parts, and legs. Worse can be backgrounds of images forgotten to be transparent, expressionless especially with rectangular eyebrows, although this cracks the creator up sometimes, and sometimes using stock characters as the prop characters' parents. Talking without dialogue boxes with so many of them can lead to confusion on who's talking. On childish series out of these so-called characters, the tantrum gets even worse when the victim's face does not change as it's only a rotated picture, even with developed dialogue. Takes up most of the running time that it feels more like staring at the static picture that fell than an actual character dancing while lying. Overall, I found these types of videos to make already cringe repetitive grounded videos worse, less animated and more boring when they could have used the character creator and custom assets and flash themes. If you want to make characters look alive in the simplest way possible, I don't recommend using still images, Either recreate or use NOC like me, for example. These videos containing image character gets a 3 out of 10, as these types of assets don't feel like animation at all unless with some given animated parts like mentioned earlier.
Coming in at number 2 are comics and requests that aren't related to what I'm interested in. For those who have bothered me too much about each specific request or comic. Irritating, and of course let's get these over with. Similar deal to talking animals for Multicultural Bunch. Either if it's repetitive from script made before or overly complexity. When it comes to character designs. So much so that I abandoned some WIPs into rot that my interest falls down if they don't remind me too much, and besides, I feel like a wrong artist or creator for them, when DMING on a daily basis, which I really don't want to do. That feels like monsters breaking into my house, and additionally for comics, it's a giant, unreasonable waste of my career. Overall, it depends on each user's behaviors and complexity of each one of them. Rating average between a 2 to a 5 out of 10. Different feel for each.
Coming in dead last are a nasty trio of repetitive Go content such as OS videos, error videos, and final sign-off first sign-on videos. Oh boy, these are nothing but repetitive garbage the creator used to deal with when being a request-accepting GoAnimator and fell into trends, which repeats the same formula over and over again. OS videos mostly has a character running an operating system that mostly rejects a user from doing something in the computer while browsing usual computer softwares to be entitled in their own ways. Errors like a character informs a user to do not turn off a device while not listening to attempt different methods, then either get fate when incorrect or awarded with correct code. And sign-off sign-on videos on which plays various commercials, having a character in one program closing off their channel, and the other character in another channel debuts it. Overall, the creator highly regret making all of these videos and wishes he never made them in the first place. A Go animator that migrates from repetition into creating new stories. Although, there could be potential of paying homage to some of them with brief scenes for references like Ella's devices on screen and a kiosk of the Cozy Land Airport in process. A trio of these types of repetition videos based off the creator's experience making too many of these gets a 1 out of 10, which is the least likely he'll return. Homage potential.
That's all of the opinions. I can select my favorites and grant my least favorites with my own words, especially when they're originally from a community post and an art site journal.
If you like any of these content of the creator's least favorites, dislike the favorites, or neutral, the least y'all can do is to respect his opinions as long as you do so as well.
If anyone forces me to bring back those things I don't do anymore, rush your request, or even bash my opinions on any, I would not tolerate these behaviors and ignore all of you.
Or yet, repetitive formulas, rushed, or spam requests would instantly either get rejected or severely delayed if we don't like your behaviors against the creator. Are we clear?
Well, anyways, thank you so much for listening to this podcast video with explanatory opinions. Peace out, guys, and it's me, Awesome Caillou Experience 5656 signing off. Over and out.
It's also me, Leggy Parrot Kai, signing off, and see you all in the creator's future drawings and Go animations when he feels like it. Don't forget to check out these Multifurry content.